Okay, welcome everyone. So I just have a couple of questions for you. Who of you downloaded a meditation app to improve their relaxation and decrease their stress? Okay, great. Then who of you perhaps trained with an online learning platform to get more muscles or get more strong in their bodies? Cool. And two of you downloaded recently something around their sexual wellness, like erotic stories or perhaps in sexual wellness education. Okay, that's maybe 5%. Well, are you still ignoring your sexual wellness? Because we're all about optimizing our lives. Every part in our life is like to the best, trying, to bring out the biggest potential in us. But because this is such a taboo, we're still ignoring it. And even though we're like in this bubble, so open-minded about everything, aren't we? We're still putting this a little bit behind. So I'm here to inspire you to think about this, the reasons why, and why you shouldn't be ignoring your sexual wellness. Now, I'll be honest, as a mom of 2 young kids and an entrepreneur, my sex life sucked. And parent or not, entrepreneur or not, I'm not alone in this. 56%, according to the Global Survey of Sexual Behavior, which is one of the biggest surveys done in this field, has found most of 56% are not very satisfied in their sex life. So that's a lot of bad sex. That's almost every second person. It could be you, that could be your neighbor. So I believe at some point of our lives, we will have some trouble with our sex life. Well, as a founder, this makes me actually curious because I see a lot of potential, a lot of pain points, a lot of pain to solve. Here's another truth bomb. Great lovers are made and not born. Because if you think about it, it's quite an advanced skill. You have to communicate honestly. You have to know what you like. You have to get into crazy positions if you want. You, have to do all kinds of things, and then you're overwhelmed, stressed, and like. But actually, this is a skill that needs to be developed through education, through practice, dry practice, if you will, and especially also experience. So I had the guts to turn to experts because I was trying to save my relationship. And turned out, sexual happiness is indeed trainable. This year I will be celebrating my anniversary with my husband on 16 years. Sure, it's up and down, it's crazy, but hey. So my husband, Phil, and I, we said, hang on, if this is trainable, like everyone should know this stuff. Like, why isn't there a platform out there that just helps everyone to be more beducated? So here it is. Beducated is our baby, our third baby next to our kids. And we've been starting the company 5 years ago, and it has been an incredible journey. And I'm going to tell you our challenges in the sexual wellness space, which, by the way, in case you don't know what sexual wellness is, it's defined by the World Health Organization as a pillar of your well-being. It's part of your physical, emotional, mental, and social well-being related to sexuality. So Beducated offers, I think it's one of the biggest resources in the world, over 100+ courses on everything from erotic massage to basics, consensual trainings, communication, shibari, rope, bondage, BDSM, you name it. it's a whole world of exploring and discovery. And that's what our aim is, to empower our users, our students, to, find out something new, get some inspiration, explore, discover, perhaps rediscover. Because wherever you are on your journey, whether you're just in your beginning of your 20s, just starting out on your sexual journey, or perhaps mid-30s, some kids challenging, to find time and space, or perhaps post-menopausal, many great opportunities to rediscover and explore your sexuality. Now, you might be wondering, I haven't heard such a platform before. Like, are you the only one in this space? Well, the sexual wellness industry is probably reaching, by 2030, over 115 billion in market value. And that contains sex toys, sex tech devices, anything related to lubrications, but of course also sex education and sexual wellness apps and platforms. So there's a lot of money to be made, a lot of pleasure brought into love lives, and a lot of impact to be made. But when I started founding a sexual wellness company, I had no idea what this all means, because, founding a startup is already crazy hard, but working in the sexual wellness industry is even harder, because you are literally trying to break a taboo. So it feels like you have this big wall in front of you, which is a taboo, and you're trying to sort of break it, but it's really hard. And then you try to find like a shovel and kind of dig a tunnel underneath, or you're trying to climb over it somehow. So it's quite skillful, and I realized that, okay, I need to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Like whenever I'm talking to someone, what do you do? I'm like, sexual wellness, and people are like, whew, okay, let me just breathe for a moment. Okay, interesting. It's just, it picks up people in a moment where, they haven't talked about before, and especially not to a stranger. So it's something exciting and thrilling, but can also be quite intense. Anyhow, let me just see where I'm at. So what does that mean operationally in our business? Well, first of all, just to name you more tangible examples, we lost our Instagram account twice. So you can imagine building up your account up to 70, 80K of followers, and then bam, it's gone the next day. So we realized very quickly, okay, we can't use the term sex on Instagram or TikTok or pretty much any social platform, except it's an adult platform. So the sexual wellness industry, as I told you, we're like getting around the walls, like trying to, elegantly find our way through the limitations. We developed algo speak, very sexy, I know. So we're using ZEGs as a nice word to attract our clients. That's one challenge, we're not really allowed to talk about what we're doing, and it, of course, diffuses our brand message. But what can you do? That's the way, of navigating while you're working in a taboo industry. Another thing is you're almost on a daily basis feeling like you are running an illegal business, because all the softwares that you're using operationally, you're actually against their terms of service. So sometimes we get an email saying, hey, you're against our terms of service, you're not allowed to use our software anymore. Bam, account deleted. So what you need to do is finding creatively other players in the field, alternatives, which are often more expensive, like payment gateways. What a pain. And of course, the third and biggest challenge in the sexual wellness industry is the lack of capital. So when we started fundraising, my son was 6 months old. hanging on my titties. I was just thinking about the other speaker, Alice, just talking about her story. And yeah, I realized, okay, there's like, out of 100 angels, probably one will talk to you. And if you're a woman, probably only half will talk to you. So lack of capital is a big issue because we are seeing this especially with VCs, but also with angels. We now have, I think, 14 angels in our deck. We raised €1 million until now for Beducated. But still, it was a hard journey. It's possible, but the thing is, when later on, when you're starting going into Series A or even later, VCs are not up for the challenge because they're LPs, so the money that's coming from, they have a vice clause that you're not allowed to invest in the adult industry. And sex education is just being put into the same pocket. So you ultimately, yeah, have not a lot of options. Nevertheless, there is talk of VCs checking out the sexual wellness market, but the commitment still has been pretty low. So it's easier to get smaller tickets, but it's still definitely challenging to raise big amounts of money. Now, why am I standing here, like crying all about the sexual wellness industry? Why is it still interesting? Why is the sexual wellness market still interesting? I love it. It's just an amazing space to work in because you're kind of at the front of a revolution. And I believe we're at a turning point of that revolution that's about to happen in most democratic societies. So, first of all, we are at the point of no return. And you're all probably Gen Z, millennials, maybe some of you are a bit older, usually investors. But this point of no return, and there's actually a term in sex education usually used in the male orgasm when a penis owner is about to climax, and there's this point just at like 85%, just before the climax, and then there's no turning back. Like if that point is reached, it will happen. And I know all penis owners knows what I'm talking about. So this is the point where we're at in our society, in most democratic societies. Gen Z, millennials, they want it. They want sex positivity for their life. They want products that help them to embrace it more. So there is an amazing opportunity here to use it to spread the word, to make this mission alive. Another thing that I've learned working in the sexual wellness industry is you're starting to get resilient from day one because you don't have the kind of budget available that other startups do. So you have to become more creative. As you know, limitation in art, for example, only makes you more creative because you just need to think outside of the box. You become this like growth hacking mindset of, okay, how can I get above this wall? Or how can I find another way around it? So you kind of going sidetracks, and we can't advertise on Meta, we can't advertise on Google. So it's not like like for others that might be an easy way to have exponential growth. For us, that's a no-go. So we are finding other ways like influencer marketing, PR, word of mouth, guerrilla marketing, which kind of makes you more resilient in times where ads are exploding in terms of prices. So we are kind of actually more resilient as a business model just because we're going the harder way, but these sidetracks can't be destroyed so easily. We are also underfunded, which kind of sounds at first negative, but it's actually what investors are looking for. They're looking for this high potential market, which is underfunded, so that there's no real competition that has a lot of funding. So that means competition is low. We're pretty much one of the only platforms in the world that offers something like this in on such a scale. There are some other apps, of course, there's more players in the space, but it's still like a market to be created, so lots of opportunities for everyone here. And another thing, and that's my last thing that I'm really appreciative of the sexual wellness community is, or actually all sort of taboo related companies, the community and the support is incredible. All of our angels are very supportive. They are in for passion, and that's what I love about them. And also founders in this space, it's not like you're competing and you're my enemy, but it's actually because we know we're still about to break that taboo, we need to work together, because together we're stronger to actually break that wall. And that's why we, for example, in Germany have a WhatsApp group of all sexual wellness founders where we're regularly meeting and exchanging information, exchanging softwares that they are using because they've been banned again. So that's a really great way of collaborating instead of like just, you know, not sharing your secret how you do it. I feel that's a really, really, really massive difference in other industries. So let's prioritize sexual wellness, shall we? Yeah, I hope I could inspire you to think about this a bit more, make sexual wellness another priority on your list of learnings, optimizing your life, going into your sexual happiness, because I believe it's a great empowerment tool for everyone. And yeah, for all investors, have a look at the sexual wellness industry, because we're at this point of turning, and there's no going back from there. So thank you so much. Talk to me. Let's connect.